We are live and ready to roll. What is going on, people? What's happening, man? Little bit of a slower day today, um, as far as things go. But we're up, we're moving, we're still getting after it. How are you guys doing, man? What's going on out there? So there we are. Boom, 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 boom. Today, man, it was crazy. NFL cutdown day. A lot of people either got traded, got cut. I don't know. I saw Indianapolis, man. What do you guys think? Jonathan Taylor's on the pup list. He's out the first 4 weeks. To me, that's just nuts. It's just nuts. I mean, the Colts again have no idea what they're doing. What's going on, Heck? What's happening, man? What's going down, man? I have no idea what the Colts are doing. No idea. It looks, I mean, obviously they're tanking. He's tanking. What's going on, Hawk? Whew. Yeah, man. I just don't know with this Jonathan Taylor thing, man. It's nuts. It's nuts. I don't know what's going on. Literally, I don't know what's going on. I mean, the guy doesn't want to be there. The Colts don't want him. The owner came out and said he didn't want him. I mean, Lord. I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen anything that crazy in a while. Have you all? Where our owner is just bashing a guy on his own team and basically saying, I don't want you there. I've never seen anything like that. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Again, we're live here on Facebook, live on TikTok, live on YouTube. Oh, man. Yeah, it looks, I mean, Jonathan Taylor's tanking. I don't know. The Colts are tanking. It's bad. It's bad right now. It is bad business right now. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know. Whew. Von Miller's out first 4 weeks. He's not healthy. I saw that today. That he's not going to be able to help him for the first 4 weeks. I mean, that's not good news for Buffalo and that pass rush in Buffalo. Because he helped. Oh boy, did he help. So I'm not sure what's going on, what's going to happen, what's different, but that's not good. My fantasy league can't get in, man. I don't run a fantasy league, and there's no spots left in mine. Our drafts are we draft late, so we got one Thursday and one on I think Sunday. I think it's Sunday. I don't know. I guess I'll have to figure that out. So crazy, crazy, crazy. So let's change gears here a little bit, man. So let's talk about Undisputed. Undisputed, Skip, Michael Irvin, Richard Sherman, Keyshawn Johnson. I think it's a nightmare. I think it is an absolute nightmare. I think Keyshawn is fine. I don't think Richard Sherman talks enough. And I think it is nothing but yelling and screaming from Michael Irvin, just huffing and puffing and trying to take over the entire set, every single segment. It's just, I won't watch anymore. I literally will not watch anymore. Not another second of it will I watch. Can't do it, won't do it, not interested in it. I am not paying any attention at all to anything that show is going to be doing. Sorry. When Shannon left, that was it. It's over. It's over. So What's going on, TikTok man? TikTok land? I don't have any comments in the chat. I'm trying to figure that out. I don't know why. But either way, we are still live on TikTok, live on YouTube. If you're not on YouTube, come on over, subscribe, man. Come subscribe to the channel. We're having fun. The chat is open. It is moving. It is moving. So we're interested. It's interesting there. Yeah, Undisputed, first takes. First of all, those shows get a little old for me anyway. Yeah, they just get old. Especially with the yelling and the screaming and the huffing and the puffing, and oh my goodness, can somebody just talk and debate whatever it is going to be? But just the Michael Irvin just drives. I can't watch a show that Michael Irvin is on. I can't watch it, and I'm not going to. I am literally not going to. Today, I tried to give it a second look today. I will not be going back for a third. I will not be going back for a third look. So it is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I'm absolutely done. So I don't know if Malik made the cut for the Patriots or not. Heck, I still got to check that out. I hope so. And they could use him. They can 100% use him. I know that for an absolute fact. So, what player embodies what it means to be a Steeler? James Harden, Mean Joe Green. I mean, just off the top of my head, not James Harden, James Harrison. Jesus, James Harden is the exact opposite of what being a Steeler is. So yeah, again, man, we're live on TikTok, live on YouTube. I appreciate you all joining the live show today. Let's get to some questions, man. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. What are we doing? What are we talking about? What questions do you guys have? Let's get this thing up and moving. Let's get it up and moving. Doo-doo. So, yeah, I don't know. I think the NFC South, I still think the Saints win that division. I said it the other day. I still think that they win that division. I still think all of that stuff is going to happen. I still think that they win. I still think that the Falcons are going to fight them. But other than that, I don't know. Oh. Yeah, heck, I knew you've been living there the last 5 years, man. And they absolutely could use them. They absolutely could use them, man. They can use Malik Cunningham up there in New England. I don't know how much they're going to use him at quarterback per se, but they can use him to help do something. Yeah, I saw that. I don't know what's going on with on why it's submission only over on TikTok. I don't know why nobody can comment. I'm going to have to fix that quickly because that's driving me insane. Don't know what's going on with it. Mm-mm-mm. But anyway, we're here. We're still live. We're still going. Mm-mm-mm. So yeah, that's what I think about I appreciate it, Dallas. I thank you for coming over to YouTube, man. Hopefully you subscribe to the channel, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, I don't know. Nobody can comment over on TikTok. So anybody on TikTok, come on over, man. Come on over to YouTube, Big B Sports Talk. The chat is up and popping over there, man. Come on over. Which NFL coach gets fired this year? Well, first of all, it's the NFL, so there's going to be more than one coach fired. More than one coach fired. It was a conversation earlier. I think Ron Rivera is the first one to go. I think Ron Rivera is the first one to go. Um, I don't think they're going to do much. He already threw his offensive coordinator under the bus before the season even started. Hell, it was before the first preseason snap. The guy throws him under the bus. So I think Ron Rivera is the first one to go. If the Chargers don't make, I think the Chargers got to win at least 2 playoff games and maybe just one, but they got to do something. I think Brandon Staley is the next. So let's see. Now, Michael Irvin needs to go. Dude always yelling over. Yes, he just overtalks everybody. And you got to do this and they've got to feel the oh my God, dude. What are you doing? Enough with the huffing and puffing. Jiminy Christmas. It's just, and look, I love Michael Irvin as a player. I did. He was great. Now, people try to say that he was the best receiver, a top 5. No, he wasn't. No, he was not. No, no, no. Maybe top 10, maybe. But he was a great player. But my goodness, you can't literally just sit there and watch because he tries to dominate everything. I'm like, yeah, okay. And why they brought him on, that was a horrible mistake with 3 other people and him talking in that close of quarters. Not going to happen. Not going to work. Not going to work. Just got to go. So, Colorado, that's a good question, heck. That's a good question. Colorado's first season, man. There's a whole bunch of people that are talking about it. Man, there was a big thing came out today. Tom Luganville, he's the ESPN recruiting guy, came on and said they don't have talent. Look, I disagree with that. I think they do have a solid first 22. They have a really good 22. The problem with Colorado is football is a game of injuries, and their top 44 isn't that good. They don't have the depth yet. You know, if football had no injuries, then it would be fine. They would be fine. But football's got injuries, man. The football's got injuries. So their problem is the top 22. And they got they got a few offensive linemen, few deep, not great. But that was my thinking early on. But they got transfers. They didn't get a bunch of recruits. They got some transfers that can play a little bit. But when you start getting into that too deep and you start digging in, yeah, it's not great. It's not great. So let's see. Joe, thank you for coming over from TikTok, man. I hope you subscribe to the channel, man. I appreciate it. He's already back on the Hawks. He was activated? Okay. Yeah, first of all, I liked him. I liked Seattle. I picked Seattle to win that division over San Francisco. I think they got something over San Francisco. I think their defense is going to be underrated this year. They're still going to be able to run the football. If Geno Smith plays like he did the first 3 quarters of last year, they're winning that division. I think people are going to figure out that Brock Purdy isn't the greatest quarterback since Joe Montana, and I like it. I like it. The Pac-12? Come on, man. You're not bursting. First of all, you're not bursting my bubble. But the Pac-12, Utah was my fraud alert last year, and it seemed to work pretty good. They were frauds all season long. But yeah, they won the Pac-12. So what? They lost to Florida. First game, and Florida was awful. Florida wasn't a bad football team. Florida was awful. That shows you the discrepancy between the Pac-12 football and big-time football. They lost to Florida. So, fraud alert. Pac-12 just doesn't play physical enough, man. They just don't play physical enough football. So Oregon's not going to be. Oregon State, I think, is better than Oregon, but we'll see. Did y'all see USC's defense on Saturday? Y'all tell me whether you think they're legit or not. And you can say it's the first game of the season. Fine. You know what? That should have been a shutout against, who was it? San Jose State. Instead, they give it, I mean, it wasn't that big of a blowout. And they scored 28 points? Come on, man. USC still don't have no defense. They still don't have any defense. I am not a believer in Pac-12 football. I'm not. Not a believer in it. Let's see. What do we got? Chicken joined the chat. I appreciate it. He is talking about Miami winning the AFC East. I was big on Miami until Jalen Ramsey got hurt. I thought I picked Miami to win it until Jalen Ramsey got hurt, and then I flipped over to the Bills. I still think the Bills, nobody's talking about the Bills. That's one thing. Nobody's talking about the Bills. And Von Miller will hurt not having him early, but he'll be back. And once he gets back, I think he causes a lot of havoc. I think Buffalo is still the best team in that division. I still like Miami. I still do, but Xavier Howard having to be their number one corner to me is a problem. Because I think Xavier Howard, we saw it, he's taken a step back. And it was a big step back. I'm not saying he's still not good. I'm just saying from where he was to where he is now, he's taking a step back. He's taking a step back. Winston, yes, Pac-12 are major frauds. Absolutely. Absolutely. Big time frauds. Big time frauds. So, no, I don't, I'm not, y'all going to have to familiarize me with Ricky Purcell. Don't know who that is. And I'm a sports guy, I'm a sports nut, and I don't know who that is. So y'all let me know. What do we got? Got another chat here. Winston. USC defense couldn't stop any SEC offense. I'm not going to just limit that to SEC offense. I'm going to say any offense in general. Any offense in general, I don't think they can stop them. They couldn't stop San Jose State. So you're telling me they're going to go to the Big 12 and stop somebody? No, they're not. They're not doing that. They're not. They until Lincoln Riley puts some emphasis on defense, this is what you're going to get. It's bad. It's just bad. Just bad. What else we got? Let's put Joe up here, man. What did he put up here? I think my Huskies will take the Pac-12. I know it's the Pac-12, but Penix is the real deal with all his receivers. You're right about Penix. Look, I am from Jeffersonville, Indiana, which is right across the river from Louisville. And Indiana had Penix. And for some reason, they didn't think, I know he blew out his knee. They rushed him back, and then they didn't think he was any good, and then so he left. They replaced him. They sat him down because they rushed him back, and he wasn't ready to play. And lo and behold, somebody's better than him. Yet, no, they weren't. But that's Indiana football. Just a laughing stock. Pathetic. And Louisville, one of my teams, they play Indiana this year. I suspect Louisville puts up 50 points. Because Indiana's not going to put up any resistance because their defense is horrid at best. But I like Penix. I think Penix is really good, man. I do. And you're right. I actually like Washington winning the Pac-12. I like it. Because, again, it's going to be a shootout. And I get Caleb Williams is there, but I like Washington. If they can get just a little bit of defense, any type of defense, they can win that conference. I don't know if I'm necessarily picking them, though. I like them, though. I like Washington. They're ranked a little high for me. But we'll see. What else we got? Yeah, Whit. They better find it moving to the Big Ten, talking about USC's defense. Yeah, they better find it quickly. And then in the Big Ten, though, depending on who you play, the offenses aren't great. But what they will do is just line up and run the ball down your throat. You know, in the Pac 12 and other conferences, they'll throw it all over the yard. Where in the Big Ten, they will just line up and say, oh, really? You can't stop the run? Well, we're going to run it between the tackles 50 times and see how a good day you have dealing with that. They'll just line up, run it in between the tackles 50 times right at you. And since we know that USC just doesn't have any resistance, it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem, man. So we'll see. We'll see. I appreciate everybody that jumped over, man. Everybody from TikTok that came over to YouTube. I appreciate that. Something's going on with the TikTok live. Can't make any comments. I don't know what's going on with that. It's probably something on my end. I'll get it figured out. But either way, the chat's popping over here, man. The chat's popping. Chicken. Bills still win week 1. Yeah. Against the Jets? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not high on the Jets, though. I'm not high on the Jets. I know a lot of people are high on the Jets. I'm not one of those people, man. I'm not high on the Jets. Because in that division, I've got it Buffalo, I've got the Dolphins, and I got the Jets and the Patriots in that order. So I'm still not high on the Jets. I still think the Jets' offensive line is work in progress. So we'll see. And you're dependent. And while Dwayne Brown is serviceable and still good, he's a 38-year-old left tackle that's been injured. So we'll see. And they talk about, yeah, he fought last year with one arm because, he had a torn rotator cuff. He's just coming back. I get all of that. We'll see. We'll see. So let's see. What else we got? Are the Raiders? Come on. Now, see, these are the type of questions. Are the Raiders legit? Dallas, you know the answer to that, brother. You know that. I'm not even going to get on you. You know the Raiders aren't legit. You know that. They weren't legit last year. They got a worse quarterback this year. Their defense is still bad. Their offensive line is still bad. They're not legit. They're not going to stop anybody. They're not legit. No. They'll be behind every game, playing catch up. I mean, no. No. They'll finish last in that division again. And it's sad because the Raiders should be better. And the NFL is better when the Raiders are good, causing trouble, beating up people. The NFL is better, man, in my opinion. But they're not any good. Not to mention, they probably don't want their coach, but they don't even have enough money to buy him out of his contract, which is sad. It's sad. It's just, man. Raiders, boy. Raiders. Not good. Not good. Austin here got a good question. Dolphins go as Tua's health goes. I think so. Although in the playoff game, you did see Skylar Thompson play pretty good. He played pretty good. He was a rookie and hadn't played much at all. And he didn't play awful. I'm not saying he played great, but he didn't play awful. And they had a chance. So in year 2, I just wouldn't write them off if Tua got hurt again. I'm not saying they're the same team because Tua is clearly better. I'm just saying I wouldn't write them off. I wouldn't write them off if I were you. Would not write off the Dolphins if Tua gets hurt. Wouldn't do that. So again, man, I appreciate everybody that's here. We're live on TikTok, live on YouTube, live on Facebook. Anybody, please jump on over to YouTube. The chat is not working in TikTok for some reason. So come on over, subscribe to the channel over here on YouTube. It's Big B Sports Talk, man. I appreciate it. We have Monday through Friday, 4 o'clock Central Time. We do Big B dailies, man. We're going to live. It's gotten big. We've done it for 8 days now. 8 days. And it's gotten bigger every time. The chat has gotten bigger every time. So I appreciate y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Let's see. What do we got here? X had a really bad down year. I was hyped for him. Who is X? Oh, you must be talking about Xavier Howard. Yeah, you're right. He was bad last year. He was bad. So, yeah, Xavier Howard. And again, I'm not saying that Xavier Howard's a bad football player because he's not. But him covering number 2 receivers, he'd have been really good to doing that. But now, if he's back to covering number 1s, that's dicey. That's dicey, man. That's dicey. I'm with you, Whit. That's dicey. That's dicey. Again, I'm not saying he's a bad football player because I don't believe that he is. But I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Let's see. What do we got? Another Dolphins question. In camp, Fangio has revived him. He's been great so far. Yeah. Look, that was another reason why I like the Dolphins. Fangio was going to help, is going to help, not was, is going to help that defense. I mean, Fangio is a bad head coach. Let's call it what it is. Great defensive coordinator. Great defensive coordinator. He was absolutely, not was, again, not was, is absolutely going to help the Dolphins. Dolphins defense is going to be better. It's going to be better. With or without Ramsey. It would have been great with Ramsey. Would have been great with Ramsey. But without him, still going to be good. Still going to be good. That's a good question. Good question. All right, heck, let's what you got here? What do you think the outcome of Louisville's first year under Coach Braum? I mean, if y'all can't tell, I mean, y'all see the helmets, y'all see, the banners. I played football at K-State. I love them. I grew up a Louisville fan, and Louisville was my team my entire life. It's still my team. It's just the way it is. Didn't go to Louisville when it was time to go to school because they were awful, and I didn't want to go get my head beaten in. So it was tough too. But getting back to the question, I got Louisville winning 9 games. I got Louisville winning 9 football games. If they win less than that, I'll think it's a disappointment. I really will think it's a disappointment. I got them winning 9 games, man. So I think they're going to be good. They did a great job, number 1, in recruiting. They did an even better job of replenishing the roster with the transfer portal. Okay? They got better on the offensive line, which they were already decent. They needed some defensive line help. They got that. Louisville's going to win 9 games this year. Louisville is winning 9 games this year. My football teams this year, it's been a minute since they've all been really good, man. I'm excited about football. The Steelers going to win 10 games. Minimum going to win 10 games. K-State, I think, is going to win the Big 12 again because I think they're going to be just as good, maybe better. People think I'm crazy because Deuce Vaughn and King Felix, and Julius Brents aren't there. Just trust me. If K-State figures out their secondary, they'll be better than last year. Trust me when I say that. Trust me when I say that. Because their offense is still going to be good. Just trust me when I say that. And then Louisville's going to be good. Louisville, I don't think wins less than 9 games. I don't think they win less than 9 games. They got an outside chance to go to the ACC championship game. They got an outside chance to go into the ACC championship game. I'm just telling you now. Just throwing out those facts, man. I'm just throwing out those facts. I don't think USC wins. Well, I don't know. I don't want to say. USC is favored to win the Pac-12. They got some competition, though. While I call Utah a fraud, and they were a fraud last year, they're still a physical football team, which we all know USC wants no part of. USC wants no part of anybody physical. Ask Tulane. Tulane beat them up and down the field. Yeah, USC scored a bunch on them, but USC doesn't want to play anybody that's physical. They don't want to do that. And Utah is physical. If nothing else, they're physical. Washington, not so much, but we'll see. But we'll see. We will see. What do we got here? Penix should have been at Tennessee. Why? Why, Whit? Why was he supposed to go to Tennessee? Nobody wanted to go to Tennessee. I mean, in Tennessee, look, and I know you're a Tennessee fan, and that's how we became, social media friends, because I was all over Tennessee last year because I loved them. I knew they were going to have a good season, but I don't think they have a good season this year. No, buddy. I'm off that bandwagon. I'm off of it. Everybody talking about Joe Milton. No, he's got a cannon. But the reason that he wasn't playing before is because his accuracy is not bad. It is poor. It's piss poor. His accuracy is pathetic. That's why he didn't play. So I'm off that bandwagon. And Tennessee plays zero defense. Zero defense. They play none. None. So I'm off of it. I'm off of it. Butch Jones. Yeah, he was bad. Let's add, we got Austin with a good question there. Is there a scenario where the Big Ten asks some football basement dwellers to step it up or leave? Indiana, Rutgers, Northwestern. Well, that's a great question, first off. First, let's start at the bottom. Northwestern gives them way too much academic help, and it's in Chicago market. They're not going anywhere. Okay? You can say, oh, well, they're football dweller, and they are. But the same reason that Vanderbilt ain't going nowhere in the SEC is the same reason that it's even more of a reason for Northwestern, because Northwestern is in Chicago. They're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. Rutgers, same thing. New York market, they're going nowhere. Rutgers isn't near as bad as Northwestern, but they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. Now, IU, different case. Not in a huge market. I mean, if you want to call Indianapolis, I mean, I don't even know 40 minutes from Indianapolis or whatever. But Indianapolis isn't a huge market, but it's Indiana. And while football drives the ship, Big Ten loves basketball, and it doesn't get bigger than in the Big Ten than Indiana basketball. They're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. So, no. To answer your question, with those three, no. No. There'd be a bigger chance of getting rid of a Minnesota before any of those three. And I don't think there's a chance in hell that they would ask Minnesota to go. But yeah, you'd have a better chance of getting rid of an Iowa or a Minnesota than getting rid of any of those three, just because of what they bring to the table and where they're at. At least two of them where they're at. That's a good question, though. Let's see. Joe asks or makes the comment, remember my boys beat Texas in Texas at the Alamo Bowl. Texas is supposedly supposed to win the Big 12, or are they SEC this year? No, Texas in the Big 12 this year. And I don't think Texas is winning the Big 12 this year. I think Texas is going to do what Texas always does, is come up short. Come up short. I think Texas is going to do what Texas does. They come up short. They're going to win or they're going to lose 3 games that you're thinking, how did they lose that game? Like a game to Oklahoma State. I don't know. And they'll trip up. That's just what they do. But they'll beat some teams too, but they'll be 9-3, 8-4, but they're not winning the Big 12, man. It's just not going to happen. Not going to happen. All right, let's move on. Get a couple more before we bust out of here. Chat is cooking. I appreciate, again, I appreciate all of y'all joining in the Facebook live chat, man. Notre Dame offense looks very talented. 100%. 100%. But it was against Navy. It was against Navy. Now, I'm not taking away anything from Notre Dame. I'm not going to take anything away from Notre Dame. But we got to keep it in perspective. It was against Navy. But it was a good showing. It was definitely a good showing. They do look talented. They do look talented. I like them. But they got a tough schedule this year. I know in years past here recently, they haven't had they got a tough schedule this year, man. Ohio State, Clemson, Louisville. They got a tough USC. They got a tough schedule, man. They got a tough schedule. Let's see. I don't know how many. This is a question here. How many Alabama QBs are starting in the NFL? I think 3, isn't there? Or 4. Because you got Mac Jones, Tua. I don't know if you want to count Jalen Hurts or not. So at least 3. That's about it. For years, they didn't have anybody that was that good in the NFL. And then they've been pumping them out here recently. So, here's a question. Somebody from Bronco Nation. I hate to tell you this, but Russell Wilson will never be the quarterback he was in Seattle. Oh, Joe is talking to Bronco Nation. I'm not saying he's not good, but he's not a pocket passer. Well, the first thing, I guess the question is, was Russell Wilson ever a pocket passer? I guess we got to start there. Was he ever that? And I think Sean Payton's going to help. I think them having a better O-line and it's going to help. I think them having a competent head coach that actually knows a little bit about what he's doing is going to help. So the Broncos will be better. The Broncos are going to be better. First off, you know that their defense is going to be good. You know their defense is going to be good. And so they're going to be better. They are going to be better. My man, Hank, U of L. Look, I'm just a realist. When we're talking anything sports, I'm a realist. Look at Louisville's schedule and tell me where you don't see them winning 9 games. Everybody's on Duke. Duke is still Duke. They talk about they're bringing all these defensive starters back. I'm like, yeah, to a defense that was terrible. So who cares? Like, literally, who cares? Louisville ain't losing that game. Look, I mean, Virginia Tech, they're beating all these teams. Miami, everybody's big on Miami. No. Shoot, if I really want to be bold, I'll say Louisville wins 10 games. But I'm going to be calm and say 9. I'm going to be more of a realist and say 9. Louisville is winning 9 games, people. That's happening. That's happening. Good question right here. What's your thoughts on Stanford, Cal, and SMU possibly being added to the ACC? I hate it. I hated Bradley Ellis. I mean, what do they add to the conference? Their football, I mean, their Olympic sports are good for Stanford and Cal. But what does SMU add other than they're in Dallas? I mean, SMU doesn't have good Olympic sports. Their football's not good. Their basketball's not good. Stanford and Cal. Now, Stanford, for years, for a couple decades, were really good in football. But the last 4 years, they've been pathetic. So hopefully they can get that back. Had a coaching change, so hopefully they can get it back. But what do they bring? I mean, okay, they're in the Bay Area. Fine. But I just don't know what they bring to the table, man. I just don't know. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't even like it if the Big 12 were to go and try to pick them up. I don't like it for the Big 12 either. I know they're talking about it, but I don't know. And look, there's a lot of people that don't like Washington State and Oregon State, adding them. Their athletic departments are a mess, but they play decent football. I'll give them that. They play decent football. Everything else, not so much. So I don't know. And they're in horrible locations. So I don't know. It just, I mean, you, I know the Big Ten is going coast to coast, but the Atlantic Coast, I mean, you at least got to change the name, don't you? Can't be the ACC and have Stanford, Cal, and SMU in your conference, can you? Whew. Whew. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's see. Anything else? Anything else? Nope. All right, man. Well, I appreciate it. Everybody, thank you again. Thanks for joining the live here on TikTok. Thanks for joining the live on YouTube. Look, TikTok, I'm sorry. I'll get the chat fixed. I don't know what's going on with it. If you're there and you're not already a subscriber or a follower, please give me a follow. If not, more importantly, jump on over to YouTube. Jump on over to YouTube and subscribe to Big B Sports Talk, man. Come on over there. I appreciate you guys. Again, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Central Time. Big B Dailies. We're going live Friday. Remember, this Friday, check it out. Big B Bets are coming back. Big B Bets are coming back. College football is back. We're going to start making some money, man. So, again, I will catch you guys tomorrow. Thank you, man.